Electric. We are electric. We are electric. We are electric. 1, 2, 3, 3. Let's go.
Again. Eugene. Again.
To give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty.
This is
Miyazaki Hidetaka.
He looks so kind and harmless that you never guess he is a game designer. Yes, he is the man created Souls, and Souls, etc. So let's dive into the story of the man himself and the studio behind him, From Software. In 1986, From Software was founded. At the beginning, it wasn't a video game company, but a company that developed business application software such as farm management systems. Same year, Metro and Castlevania, which greatly influenced Soulslikes map design, were released. In the early 1990s, Japan's bubble economy collapsed. From Software revenue began to decline and facing a survival crisis. The company turned to video game development.
Miyazaki Hidetaka.
Graduated from Keio University with a degree in social science. Before he joined From Software, he worked at an internet company called Oracle. In 2004, he joined From Software and worked on Armored Core series in game design. He later said he didn't have big dreams at that time. It was the game Ico that inspired him to change his career. In 2009, Miyazaki directed Demon Souls. The project was once seen as a failure risk, but he took it over and said it doesn't matter if it fails. This game completely overturned the traditional way games were made. In the past, most games couldn't wait to tell you how to win, but the game had no difficulty settings and was very hard from the start. Surprisingly, that made many players love it even more. Also, the game features mysterious storytelling and player-driven exploration. Even though sales were poor at first, the game slowly gained strong word of mouth and a loyal fanbase. In 2011, Dark Souls were released under Miyazaki's direction. It defined the spirit of Souls, death and learning, exploration as storytelling, and word itself as a language. Soon, Soulslikes became a new type that many other studios followed and honored, and that's the story behind the birth of Soulslikes games.
No Jordan. Colt's collection plate is never empty.
Actually, the story of Soulslikes didn't begin with the famous Elden Ring, or even Dark Souls. It traces all the way back to From Software's 1994 release, King's Field. That game was just a niche, obscure title at the time, but if you look back today, you'd be shocked to discover that the DNA of modern Soulslikes was already deeply embedded within it. Labyrinth and maps filled with malicious traps, environmental storytelling through item descriptions and subtle details, and that unyielding, extreme difficulty. You could say it broke all the so-called rules of what makes a good game. So why has this genre become so wildly popular that most modern action games have started to imitate the Souls-like formula? Before Soulslikes, most action games were titles like Ninja Gaiden, Devil May Cry, and Bayonetta. These high-speed action games relied on extremely flashy, exaggerated combos, offering high skill ceilings and spectacular visuals, but also demanding a steep learning curve. players needed to memorize complex move lists and practice muscle memory as if learning a musical instrument, but Soulslikes completely changed this paradigm. While they appear intimidatingly difficult, if you want to get into a Souls game, you only need to master 2 core buttons, attack and dodge. Their combat doesn't pursue infinite combos. Instead, it's based on an animation commitment principle, emphasizing observation, prediction, and precise reaction to enemy behavior. This design shifts the player's focus from how to execute fancy combos to how to survive this life-or-death battle. It's precisely because of this incredibly streamlined control logic that we see experts on video platforms beating Sekiro using only a mouse, a guitar, or even a dance pad. This minimal operational barrier, combined with immense strategic depth, creates a unique psychological loop. Every death feels like I almost had it, compelling you to constantly press try again. Failure is no longer a frustration, but an enticing invitation for the next attempt. However, all of the above still confines Soulslikes to a relatively hardcore niche. The true transformation didn't happen until 2022. Yes, it's fair to say that it wasn't until the release of Elden Ring that Soulslikes truly entered the mainstream gaming consciousness. As one of the most successful video games in history, it achieved a peak concurrent player count of approximately 760,000 on Steam on its very first day, far surpassing Sekiro's 124,000. Its sales surpassed 20 million copies within a year, propelling the genre to unprecedented heights. If the Dark Souls series built exquisitely brutal castles, then Elden Ring gifted players an entire dark continent to freely explore. It successfully merged the Souls-like formula with an open world, using a staggering scale and density of content to overwhelm the frustration players accumulated during exploration. When you were tortured to death by Margie, the fell omen, you no longer had only the option of bashing your head against the wall. You could just turn around, explore the plains of Limgrave, the starry skies deep underground, or the enigmatic Rhea Lucaria Academy. The world always offered you an alternative. Freedom greatly diluted the bitterness of repeated failure, transforming it into the sweetness of adventure. Another indispensable factor in the success of Soulslikes is the player community. In the early days of Demon's Souls and Dark Souls, the player experience was somewhat isolated. Countless hidden items and complex NPC questlines could remain forever undiscovered, no matter how long you played. It was destined to be an underground classic for the few. The new era of player communities and online guides completely changed this landscape. The fragmented narrative of Soulslikes instead became a social adhesive. Heated online discussions, meticulously organized wiki sites, and detailed video guides collectively built a global knowledge-sharing feast. In Elden Ring, this effect was amplified to the extreme. Right from the start, you could use community-shared strategies to teleport to specific locations and obtain early game mage powerhouses like the Meteorite Staff and Rock Sling, significantly reducing the difficulty of the initial playthrough. Community wisdom turned solitary suffering into a pilgrimage undertaken by millions together. The officially designed message system directly integrated this community assistance into the game's very mechanics. Finally, beyond their commercial success, another reason modern games increasingly imitate Soulslikes is the relative accessibility of their design framework for developers. Compared to traditional action games requiring complex combo design and balancing numerous skills, creating a basically competent Souls-like does have a relatively clear path: build a challenging boss, design stamina and manage combat, set bonfire checkpoints, and weave in fragmented storytelling. This template reduces innovation risk, making it a safer bet for many developers, especially mid-sized teams. Thus, we've seen a surge of Souls-like titles like Lords of the Fallen and Lies of P. They prove that Souls-likes have become more than just a game genre. They are a design language widely recognized by both the market and players.
Nice.